this weekend. Andy, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
So, Andy, tell us a little what folks could expect this weekend. If they've never been to the air show before, tell us what we got coming up.
Well, first of all, if you've never been to one, it's an experience that feels like once in a lifetime thing. I mean, you just got to go. My family and I have been to several of them, and what's unique about this one, other than the fact that it's right here in Northeast Louisiana, is that there's a night show. Now, have you ever been to a night air show?
I have been to air shows. I've never been to a night show, and you say it's something special.
It is absolutely divine. So they call it the twilight hour, where the sun starts to set. It's not fully blacked out yet. And you get to see the jets, the afterburn coming off. You get to see a lot of spectacular lights. And as it gets darker, they just amplify it.
And I'm going to tell you something. There's something special about aeronautics, aircraft, that whole industry, the history around it, the dynamics of the whole thing. I don't know what it is. We were talking before you came on the air. I'm an Air Force brat. I grew up around Air Force bases, and I still get excited when jets fly overhead.
Absolutely.
It's
the little boy in you comes out.
Every single time.
Every time.
So, so I get excited about it. What are some of the maybe unique groups that are going to be there, some of the aircraft that people can come see?
All right, so let's talk about who's hosting it real quick, the dates,
please.
And then I'm going to go into that. So the Chennault Aviation Military Museum in Monroe, Louisiana, if you've not been, it's a gem in Northeast Louisiana. Claire Chennault, a historic figure right out of Clarks, Louisiana, is the founding, that's the basis that the museum's, but it's got our local history in there too. All right, so May 5th, 6th, and 7th, it's going to be in the Monroe Regional Airport. May 5th and 6th, that's the twilight hour shows. May 7th, the more traditional. All right, the performers, what you were just asking about, is the U.S. Air Force A-10 Thunderbolt team.
I'm going to tell you something. You need to, if you've never seen an A-10 in action,
oh my gosh,
you need to go on YouTube and look up A-10.
Absolutely.
The A-10 Thunderbolt is basically a low-flying aircraft. They've slow and low. They've got a Gatling gun on the front of them.
It does.
And the guys that are out, and I almost get teared up about it, I'm serious. The guys out in the field in the military love the A-10 Thunderbolt.
We love it.
Because they save the day almost every time. For the guys that are out in ground battles.
So, funny story, I'm in Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. We're sleeping, and the A-10 just takes off. It's screaming as loud as it can. We had never heard it at this point. We're all jumping off our cots, flipping out, thinking we're under attack, and it's just the A-10.
Just the A-10.
Just the A-10.
Yeah, but they come in over the battlefield, and they basically they come in so low the enemy doesn't know that they're coming, and boy, they can do some damage real quick. It's
That's right.
Phenomenal aircraft. Ugly. They call them the Warthog because it's so ugly, but boy, they can definitely inflict some damage. So that'll be a cool part, absolutely.
We have a Hall of Fame inductee Aeroshell acrobatic team with our own Jimmy Fordham, Red Bull team racing racer Kevin Coleman, Randy Bell with his MiG-17. Awesome. Like Grid Godley said, it's not the Russians.
It's not the Russians.
It's not the Russians.
They're just flying a Russian aircraft.
That's right. Goes right along with several other performers, static displays, food trucks, Kids Zone, very, very kid-friendly. Bring your kids out. Come early to see all the, performance by radio-controlled jets and airplanes. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and there's a huge. That's a whole nother community.
That is.
That's a huge following with that. They do some awesome stuff too. Very good. And so once again, talk a little bit about the foundation and what they do.
Absolutely. So this is where my heart's at. I personally donate money to the foundation and the museum because not only does it remind us of our history, both nationally, historically, worldwide, but locally, but there's a foundation piece that they host a PTSD clinic twice a month. A lot of vets are in dire need of that.
Absolutely.
And what's wonderful about it is some people say, well, they got the VA for that. Well, this isn't an institutional thing, right? This is other vets coming together to help each other heal, talk about experiences, being able to relate, come together. So it's not a government institutional aspect.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
This is pretty cool too. Library of Congress Veterans Oral History Program.
Oh.
So if you're a local vet around here and you want you can just go to the museum and talk to them. You've got a story to tell about your history. They'll document that and send it up to Congress to be documented.
And that is so important because so many veterans, we don't have very many World War II veterans left.
That's right.
And, as time passes, these guys that have experienced battle, are not going to be around with us much longer. We got to record that history as long as we can.
Absolutely. And then another thing is this museum and the foundation is attached to VSO. If you don't know what a VSO is, it's a Veteran Service Organization. And so this one happens to be the DAV, Disabled Veterans for America, and they help vets not only transport to the Jackson, Mississippi VA hospital, but they also will help do your disability claims. So sometimes vets don't want to go into the VA, into West Monroe, into that clinic and go, it's not a clinic, it's an office, and go do a claim because they don't know where to begin.
Right.
Even though the VA is full of vets, it's just that institutional mindset. So the DAV is veteran, operated by vets, founded by vets, and so it makes a lot of them feel comfortable. They can see the museum. It's a very low stress environment.
Fantastic. And, some people just, I like the way you put that, just don't know where to start. And just dealing with the government. Sometimes the government doesn't make things easy for us. They're paperwork heavy.
Yep.
And so having that extra bit of help, I'm sure, is a huge, huge thing for some of those veterans that need that additional assistance.
Absolutely is.
Well, great. This is fantastic. So as we wrap up here, give us just some reminders about the main details about the air show. If folks want to go, times, place, cost, all that sort of stuff.
All right, so May 5th, May 6th, May 7th. I don't know the cost. All right, the 5th and 6th is the Twilight Show.
Okay.
All right, the 7th is the more traditional show. Rain or shine, we are going to be performing as long as there's no lightning. Okay. So rain or shine, you ain't training if it ain't raining, right? So, and I wish I had the cost, but I tell you what, for tickets, go to redwhiteandblueairshow.com. redwhiteandblueairshow.com. You can get your tickets there. We have VIP, special VIP seating, general seating. Once again, I wish I knew the ticket prices. I don't. That's on me. And ultimately, the show is going to be absolutely amazing. May 5th, May 6th, Twilight Hour. May 7th, more traditional show. Get there early. The show, you know what? There's no times. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's okay. Well, we're going to get the rest of this information. We'll get it out to folks in just a few minutes.
Get there early.
I'm going to look up all these details and give them to you. But hey, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you so much, Andy, for information about the foundation, information about the air show. Really cool event in our area, folks. And once again, my favorite line I hear all the time is, "There's nothing to do." Well,
now there is.
Once again, as we tell you all the time, there's so much to do, and this is another great event in north central, northeast Louisiana. Thanks, Andy, for being with us. The Red, White, and Blue Air Show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Andy. More to come.